Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about 10 mysteriously abandoned places in the world. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. In the universe, according to popular belief, the only thing that never changes is change itself. Across the globe, historic structures such as buildings, cities, railway lines, and even amusement parks can be observed to exhibit the same pattern of deterioration. A bonus is that some of these completely run-down and abandoned locations around the world have an uncanny and eerie quality to them, adding to the overall experience. Untold stories about the people and places who have left these abandoned locations all over the world are buried beneath the layers of dust and rust that have accumulated over time. Number 10. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, USA. Known for its grand architecture and modern luxuries, this Philadelphia correctional facility has housed some of the world's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone. It used to be the most expensive prison in the world. In addition to being one of the first penitentiaries to be built, it combined an impressive design with strict discipline in order to inspire regret and reform in the hearts of the convicts who were housed in the institution. Because of the complex's decline since its closure in 1971, it has been designated as a National Historic Landmark by the United States Department of Interior, which means it is now a jumble of deteriorating cell blocks. Visitors to Eastern State Penitentiary are welcome at any time of the year, including holidays. Number 9. Lee Plaza Hotel, Detroit, USA. The once luxurious Lee Plaza Hotel has been transformed into a gloomy, foreboding structure with no visible windows. There are many abandoned buildings in Detroit that serve as a constant reminder of the city's shocking decline as a major American metropolis. This is just one of them. Detroit was once the epicenter of a thriving automobile industry, but the city's initial prosperity was eroded by a series of economic recessions, international competition, and race riots that followed one another. An estimated 60% of the city's peak population has now departed, leaving behind a living example of urban decay in its stead. Number 8. Winchester Mystery House, California, USA. You'll find a maze of dead ends, secret doorways, and staircases that lead to nowhere in particular in this eccentric and extravagant Victorian mansion in California. Sarah Winchester, the widow of gun magnate William Wirt Winchester, was driven to begin construction in 1884 by paranoia and superstition, and she decreed that the project would not be allowed to be stopped until it was completed in 1886. As time passed, the house grew into a maze of architectural oddities that reached 7 stories in height during the 38 years leading up to her death. Visitors can tour the house, which has survived despite being severely damaged by the earthquake of 1906, and explore the 160 rooms that have been preserved for them. Number 7. Bodhi Ghost Town, California, USA. After being founded by prospectors drawn to the state by the California Gold Rush in the mid-1800s, Bodhi, California, flourished and developed into a thriving mining town filled with fortune-hungry men, saloon shootouts, and barroom brawls, among other things. While it was fortunate for a time, its good fortune did not last long. After gold discoveries in other parts of the world attracted crowds away from the United States, a population decline occurred in the 1890s. It was only in the 1960s that this ghost town, which has been frozen in time since the 1800s, was designated as a National Historical Landmark by the United States Congress. Tourism has replaced mining as the primary draw to this town, with visitors flocking to walk the deserted streets and marvel at the town's arresting decline. Number 6. Varosha, Cyprus. A time capsule of corroding classic cars, crumbling high-rise buildings, and shopfronts displaying the latest in 1970s fashion can be found in the Varosha quarter of Famagusta City, Turkey. In 1974, time seemed to have stopped in this desolate section of the city. The people of Varosha were forced to live in exile for the rest of their lives as a result of the Turkish invasion of Cyprus following the war. Due to nature's reclamation of the structures that were once a favorite destination of the wealthy and famous, people can only peep through barbed wire these days. Number 5. Ryuji Hotel in Pyongyang, North Korea. Neither North Korea's pride nor the skyline of Pyongyang are enhanced by the 105-story shell of the Ryuji Hotel, which has remained vacant, unopened, and unfinished since its construction began in 2006. Following an initial start in 1987, construction on the hotel came to an abrupt halt after 5 years due to a lack of funding. Official photographs of this abandoned hotel, which was previously prominently displayed on North Korean stamps, were quickly removed from circulation. After nearly 2 decades of inactivity, the construction of the hotel was restarted in 2008. However, it is unclear whether the project will be completed in its current form. Number 4. San Juan Parangara, Michoacán, Mexico. In the midst of an ash and lava-strewn landscape, this church tower stands defiantly as the only remaining structure of the devastated village of San Juan Parangara, which is located in the Mexican state of Guerrero. A series of eruptions at the Paracutan volcano began in 1943 and gradually engulfed entire communities of people and their homes, enveloping all signs of life in a black cloak of molten rock and volcanic debris, and obstructing all evidence of human activity in the surrounding area. Despite the fact that the building is vacant, tourists flock to this remote ruin today to marvel at its altar, which has survived intact despite the fact that it is empty. Number 3. Collisen, Russia. The bell tower of the now submerged St. Nicholas Church, which rises 75 meters above the waterline, marks the site of the former Russian town of Collisen, which stood 75 meters above the waterline. Because of the intentional flooding of the town of Uglich during the construction of the reservoir in 1939, irreversible damage was done to the landscape. The Uglich Reservoir was built in 1939. It is the simple beauty of the remaining belfry that draws visitors who arrive by boat to the site, and they can spend some time exploring this long-lasting landmark of the sunken town. Number 2. ZKP Tagansky, Moscow, Russia. A 7,000 square meter space hidden 60 meters beneath the streets of Moscow, ZKP Tagansky, was once used as a secret Cold War communications center during the Cold War era. According to the Russian government, a direct nuclear attack on this massive complex, which was built in the 1950s, would have caused it to collapse, but it was equipped with enough supplies to keep it running for several months after it had been destroyed. Bunker 42 has attracted a large number of visitors in the years following its declassification in 1995, who are eager to delve deeper into the mysteries of history. Number 1. Presidio Modelo, Cuba. This model prison, which has been vacant since 1967, still exudes desperation and paranoia despite the fact that it is no longer in use. Building the oppressive Panopticon, designed by dictator Gerardo Machado in 1926 and inspired by the Panopticon model, was intended to instill a sense of constant, invisible surveillance. The prison's population grew dramatically under Castro's administration, reaching more than 6,000 enemies of the state despite the fact that Fidel Castro had been a prisoner here at one point. In spite of the fact that the building is now a museum, visitors can still sense the ominous atmosphere that permeates these echoing corridors and empty cells. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.